So yesterday we went to this private event at Senses. It's part of the Escade group. And although it was beautiful, my senses literally got overstimulated. Oh my God. I went to bed at 9:30. I was still dizzy from that entire trip. We didn't even go to the entire park, you know, it was just a little part of it. But it was enough for me to be like, oh my God, I am so dizzy. And I woke up still feeling very tired and today is one of those days. It's a Sunday, and I'm just going to take it slow with the little one. I'm going to prepare a very simple, easy breezy breakfast for us, and then I'm going to go ahead and make a brunch so that we can take that with us to the beach. Join me on this creation on low energy. So we're gonna make something that's so yummy. This looks gross. This is like very how you call that? Like overripe bananas that I put in the fridge. It looks disgusting, but it's so tasty because there's so much flavor in it. And what we're gonna do today is we're gonna make a smoothie. Um, Usually I don't add oats in it, but because I'm gonna use it as our breakfast for today, I'm going to add this. Let's start with some fruits. This is like a mix of, well, everything really. Berries and raspberries and strawberries, berries. I'm going to add some oats. I don't know if you guys can see everything. And we're gonna add some milk, some yogurt. I'm gonna blend this right now, put everything back in the fridge, and then we can start a little storytelling moment. Doesn't this look yummy? It smells so good too. So I'm gonna pour some in for Figo and me. And yesterday I actually made this very yummy snack for Figo. It's made with blueberries, and I added some almond nuts on it and yogurt and a little bit of honey. And he really likes it a lot. So this is just going to be a healthy snack. Let me give it to him. He wants a fork. So I want to make some baba ganoush. I was thinking what to bring for when we go to the beach and how fun it would be to but to have something to dip with. I have some pita bread and I will roast it in a second. I've never made baba ganoush before ever in my life. So I just looked up a recipe and I'm like, okay, I got this. And so the oven is on. It should be in there for like 30 minutes, maybe even a bit longer. I am opening this just to make it easier. I think I'm already gonna drop some because I'm not sure if you noticed, but if you have seen my cooking skills before, this is only the second time I'm actually showcasing it, but I never really follow the entire recipe. Sometimes I just leave things out, and usually that works really well. So what I'm doing now, I have some garlic. I'm gonna use 2 of these. Already removing the skin, which I don't have to because sometimes it's actually really nice to keep it on and then you can push it out once it's out of the oven. But I'm gonna put it in, I'm gonna wrap it in foley. So here, a little bit of this again. And I'm gonna put it in. So the other day, so I've been creating every day, right? The other day I was talking about how I got some bad news. And I used that bad news basically as a way of really being like, okay, um, who knows if this is really bad news, like I can make the best out of this. And I don't have to really be afraid that it actually is bad news. And so I described in one of my episodes how I dealt with that. And we all have those days, right? When things don't really seem to go the way we planned or we hear bad news. And I just wanted to showcase how I deal with that. And so that same day, I already saw a huge shift because I was really just allowing things to happen the way it's supposed to happen. And even until the next day, I noticed like there were so many opportunities coming my way, things that I could spot, like things I probably wouldn't be able to see if it wasn't for me, taking my power back. And so, long story short, a few of these opportunities, possibilities fell through. And I've been talking a lot about audacity and how important it is that you just put yourself out there. And the whole thing about audacity and having audacious dreams and ambitions and all of that is that you're constantly stretching your muscle, because the more you put yourself out there, the more the chances are you get a freaking no, or that, yeah, it just doesn't really work out. And I think it actually is a good sign. But when it happens, it doesn't always feel that way. When it happens, it still feels like, did I just make a fool out of myself? Or, was I too ambitious to believe that? Or what I actually really felt was, maybe she just didn't like me. And I started to hear those voices, like monkey mind that loves to chat in your head. And I'm happy with that, because it's those voices that keeps us in, not moving forward. It's those voices that are the reason why we don't really go for what we want. And I'm like, oh, I'm so happy that because of that audacious way of living and looking at things, I'm constantly stretching my comfort zone, constantly stretching what is possible out there, and letting opportunities come my way doesn't always mean that it's, that it's a match. And so, and honestly, you don't even know what you're planting. Maybe this time is a no, but maybe through another way it's going to be a yes, right? And so I just was very observant of how I was handling the rejection or seeming rejections of all these opportunities playing out. Anyway, I'm putting this in the oven so it can do its work. And it sometimes feels that your faith is in the hands of other people. And that's what I really felt observing all these fearful thoughts and, you know, fearful thoughts meaning like, oh, maybe she didn't like me, or maybe I was too much, or maybe blah, 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 whatever came up. By observing those thoughts, I was like, sometimes it really feels that our faith is in the hands of other people. And that's just not true. Our faith is not in the hands of people. I do believe that God works through people, but it's not that they have our faith in their hands. It's like, I just have to put myself out there even more. You know what I mean? And yeah, you can get rejected, or yeah, you may not receive a yes, and it's all good. And I was thinking about that today as I was getting ready. Like, yeah, it feels so uncomfortable, but it's so freaking welcome. And that's the only way to go through it, And then to have a new perspective on that, because that's helpful. And the new perspective being, my faith is not in people's hands. It's in the hands of something so almighty. And it's in the hands of me, because I make a difference, right? So anyway, let's go and cut some amazing fruit. So every week, lately, let me put this a little bit up because I feel like I have to bend the whole time. Lately, I really love buying papayas, and there's a few reasons why. One is a big freaking fruit. And so in the morning when I prep Fido's breakfast and lunch, I don't want to spend too much time on cutting fruits. And because I just cut it whenever I receive it, I just have a huge batch of this amazing fruit, and it stays really good for a long time. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm looking, oh yeah, here. Already looking for a container. And so a part of it we're gonna bring with us at the beach, because there's nothing yummier than being at the beach and eating fresh fruits. So I have a little surprise for Figo as well, because honestly, we live in a tropical climate, right? And we love coconut water, especially when it's fresh. And so I got these from our supermarket. Da-da-da. Makes me think of Jungle Book. Anyway, they're really handy because they're holes. They're not really holes, but they made, I'm not sure if you can see this, but the only thing you have to do is bring a very sharp knife and basically press it in, and then it's very easy to carve out a hole. And then I have these straws that we can use, and then we can drink it, and we can basically leave it there, right? Because it's all nature. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Of course, I'm gonna bring some water bottles as well. And I think I'm gonna also bring some coloring stuff so that we can color and the texture and all of that stuff. But to be really honest, I'm really craving for a nap because that event. Oh my God. I I knew it was called Senses, right? So obviously I've never been, but honestly it's about stimulating your senses. My God, I'm not sure if you've ever been. If you've ever been, let me know. But it was intense. It was intense. Everything was so different and so upside down, and I felt so disbalanced. And I was honestly thinking, like, how can people work here? Like, how is that possible? How can they stand here for hours? They probably have a lot of different shifts. I don't know, but I'm really referring to the town when you first enter because yeah, it's just it was like being in a roller coaster ride while walking. Okay. But it was fun. No regrets going, definitely never going back. They have a lot of different parks, honestly. So I will most likely just go to Escare, but not to this one. Obviously, when you cut amazing food like this, you cannot, you know, wait until you can have a bite of it. So, mm, 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 mm. Papaya has its sweet spot when it's not overripe, and but it still have, so much flavor in it. But when it's not ripe at all, it's just, yeah, very lame. It doesn't really have a lot of taste in. Then I have Figo's box. I'm gonna use today for our fruit container. I made it a little bit smaller. It's easier to eat. Yeah, I'm one of those moms that love to just bring our own stuff when we go on our beach here. Um, because I just don't feel like looking for food everywhere. And I want him to eat as healthy as possible, especially when we're on the road. And at the same time, I'm not that extreme that either. So we also have a mango. Ta-da! I'm not sure if you know how to cut a mango, but it's always like go as close to the seed as possible. I learned this like I think 20 years ago because my boyfriend was trained as a chef, and then he taught me this. Ta-da-da. But I think everybody knows it by now, right? It looks cute and it's so handy and it's easy to eat that way. So I could do two things. I can just leave it like this and put it like that, or I can just cut it. What should I do? I'm not sure what to do. I think I'm gonna cut it so that I don't have the skin left, right? So let's make it easy and clean as possible. Anyway, yeah, I've been creating a lot this week. Also a topic that I wasn't even aware of that it hit me so deep when I saw this reel of some lady. We actually had a whole conversation about this um, on her feed because he was asking for how her perspective, how people felt about it, and I was expressing it to her. And eventually, it seemed like she has a very similar view as I have. She just in a very interesting way expressed it. It was really about, how we women have to really take our power back. And yeah, I made a whole episode out of that. And I'm actually really just too tired to even talk about it. So whatever I would say now about it would be such a shame. So I'm just gonna link it for you guys. That's exactly how my brain works today. Less talk, more momentum. But, you know, I love food. And especially on these days when you're not fully in your energy, like when you're really tired, I just love. Normally, I could put some music on in the background, but I just love um, taking things so slow. And food is part of that, If I was by myself today, I will probably not be standing in the kitchen, but for my beautiful son, I don't mind. There's just something inherent in me that just loves taking care of him, and um, so it just goes automatic, you know? And I'm like, yeah, let's go to the beach. Let's just enjoy a beautiful afternoon together. Guys, by the way, before I cut this, this kind of looks like a mango. This is maracuya, the Spanish name for passion fruit. And it's huge, guys. So I'm gonna cut this open. This is like three passion fruits in one, honestly. And look at this. I think I'm just gonna put it like this, like inside, and then take some spoons with me so we can spoon it out. That works perfect. You know, because lunchbox is really handy because it has all kinds of layers and stuff. But you can also leave it out, and then you have this. Isn't that amazing? I also have oranges. Oranges, I don't know how I found out about that not so long ago when I cut some oranges for the beach. And it was just so tasty to have these oranges to bite in. And I'm like, yeah, so this one has to come with us too. So yeah, I have to bring spoons, straws, and a sharp knife. And it will all be good. Da, 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 da. So how was your weekend? And maybe you will see this during, I just almost completely forgot. You guys can tune in whenever you want, right? So maybe you're watching this while it's a Monday. Wherever you are, whenever you're watching, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Ba-da-bum. Okay, guys, I'm gonna close this one. So here it is for our meal. Let me put this. For our meal, we're going to, with meal, I mean brunch, we're going to make Ganoush, right? So while it's still in the oven, I am going to already eat some of these pita bread because it's just so much yummier. So let me do that. Pika, do you need a refill? You're probably wondering, how come this lady has a kid in house who's 7? He's so quiet. You don't want to know how he's laying there with his headset and the computer. I started this year with the commitment of making videos every day on YouTube. And the thing that I was kind of doubting was how to do that with my 7-year-old. And that's specifically in the weekends, right? When, you know, he's with me full time. He doesn't go to school, right? And with trial and error, I just figured out, it only takes maybe 30 minutes for me to create. Well, this is a long show, but I think usually it's like 15 minutes, right? And so I just said to myself, then we do what works best. And so he is now sitting there with his laptop, headset, and enjoying his movie because if he would watch TV, he would hear it. But he's content, mommy can do her thing, and it's all good. And then afterwards, I have all the time anyway for him. But it really doesn't matter if he's watching TV right now while I'm cooking or if he does it with a headset on. So I figured it's fine. But at first, I was struggling with how can I create content with him and still be present for him. And I'm like, well, it is doable. You become very creative. And I think I found a way to make that work. And yeah, where there is a will, there is a way. I think I'm gonna do 4. I also put some food out of the fridge or the freezer, I should say, for tonight's dinner. I don't even know what it is. It's meat, something meat. And then later on, it will be on room temperature, and then I'll put it in the fridge, and then that will be for tonight. But yeah, usually I make dinner, guys. Usually I really take the effort to make dinner, and whenever Figo's with his daddy, usually I don't make dinner for myself. I wanted to show you guys this fruit, by the way. So this is plátano. It has a different name, much something with an M, I believe. But this is different than a normal banana, right? But it is a banana still. And I know this from back home because my mom, who was born and raised in Suriname, which is in South America, she would make all kinds of yummy, delicious things out of this. And both my son and I, we were completely hooked on this. So I always have a lot of it at home. And the darker it gets, the better. I know it looks disgusting, but it's really good and it's tasty. And you can make chips out of it. You can make bacabana, is how we call it, like baked bananas. You can fry it with dough. You can do anything. And here in Mexico, they fry it, not with dough, but they fry it and they put some kind of cream on it and cheese. And it's freaking delicious. So now sometimes I do that as well with some Parmesan cheese and some, yeah, crema, they call it. So yeah, what was I saying, guys? I was talking about food. Yeah, I was talking about food. Oh my God. This is what happens when you're trying to multitask. It's actually still doable. Let me put it here on another cutting board. I have to pay attention, guys. Anyway, let me put this here. Where was I? Yeah, I was thinking about this. Like, so when Fico is with me, I always make dinner. I always make sure that we have a proper dinner, proper food. And then when I'm alone, I don't. And I lived by myself before I became mom, like for a long time. Let's say, how long did I live by myself before I started dating his dad? I think like 7 years, something like that. And I made dinner for myself, and whatever I had as a leftover, I would bring that to work for my lunch often. I even had this time where I was really into fitness and I was just making very clean meals, make everything from scratch. So I would not buy this, I would make this, that kind of era. And so yeah, I was always in the kitchen. So I was thinking, so what happened? Why am I not doing that for myself anymore? And the reason is this. Um, it's actually still a form of self-love. It's still a form of me demonstrating self-love because I don't have to, right? So when my son is with me, I automatically just want to take care of him, right? So I love making food for him. I love how he responds to it. It's like a love language thing, And I definitely have that from my mom, and I definitely have that from my roots for sure. But when I'm alone, I actually really just enjoy doing nothing. I was actually even thinking, because a lot of people here have nannies. I don't have that. Or they have household help. And I was thinking, yeah, well, I don't really need it because it's just me and Figo, and he's not here full time anyway. But then I had this weird thought of, but she could still come and take care of you, Ash. Like, I never even thought about that. I'm from the Netherlands. We don't really have housekeepers. It's a very Mexican thing. It's normal here. But now I've been living here for a while, right? So um, I don't see it as a weird thing anymore. I really thought it was like, interesting how people had nannies and household, and like I know families that have two. But yeah, like I said, I see it now more as normal, but I'm not there yet where I'm like, okay, I really want to have some help here as well. But the other day, I was thinking, oh my God, it's time to actually drink my own. It's because of all the smoke. And I didn't put it on, how do you call that? You know what I mean? Because I don't want it to interfere our recording. But my God, is it needed? Okay, it's done. And in the meantime, I cut them all in triangle pieces. But I was thinking, yeah, as a form of self-love, I'm doing nothing. And how amazing would it be if maybe one day I decide to just have a help for 5 days a week, and even when Pico's not here, so that she can take care of me. So that when I wake up, my breakfast is done. And I actually then eat breakfast because I usually skip it. Or that, she already prepares my lunch. And trust me, oftentimes I pick a Figo up at school, this is like mid-afternoon time, and then it's like, oh shit, I haven't even eaten yet because I'm just so in my own thing and creating or editing or whatever. And that's not good. That's not good. So yeah, who knows? Maybe someday that will happen. Oh my God, it's not good for my throat, all that smoke. Maybe you can see it. I can definitely smell it. um, but yeah, it's a form of self-love that I don't let my, that I don't feel that I constantly have to cook for myself. And it's like, yeah. And oftentimes when I have my afternoon walks, I just end up eating somewhere. The other day I went for sushi, and the night after, I think I went for a burger, and that was a big one. And so I ate that the next day too. Anyhow, let's see how the eggplant is doing. I actually have to clean this baby up because I'm gonna use this to blend everything together. So I'm gonna clean this one too, and I'm gonna check the oven. See that? It looks amazing. Oh, P.S. The recipe is from this Dutch cooking queen. I love her content. She has a show too. And obviously I could pick any because I just Googled it, but because I saw her name, like, oh, well, I know for sure she has great taste. So that's why I picked it. I can link it for you guys, but you don't speak Dutch. So I will just put in a description whatever I did, like my version of it, if you trust me. And then yeah, you can roll with it. Okay? So give me a second. Hey guys, so everything is now clean. This one is not so hot anymore. So I can wrap it. And I didn't have tahini, I couldn't find it, but I did find these. So these are sesame seeds, and I'm gonna roast them a little bit in a pan. And it's really to get that flavor, you know? So what we're gonna do, I left it to dry, so now it's clean. I'm going to put the eggplant in, spoon it. It's still a little bit hot. Still very hot. I don't want to burn my fingers, but Ash is not patient, guys. So I don't have the tendency that I want to wait. Like people have when they make a cake and they already want to, cut it open. I do have that patience. But with this, no, I don't. I just want to get started. Ooh. I don't know why we're not supposed to use the skin. I would just put it all in. But according to the recipe, you do it without the skin. Okay, and I'm just gonna do the rest of my hand. Stir a little bit so it doesn't burn on one side. I think it's easier for me to just do this on the surface. And if there's a little bit of skin in it, or still on it, I should say, it's right. Eggplant is something that is not always favorite for everyone, but when you make it the right way, it can be so freaking yummy. And I remember actually that I once, in the time that I was the sporty girl that always prepped my food and stuff, I really do recall that I would make my eggplants like this and then season it. I'm gonna season it now too, by the way. And it's gonna be fine. And I think I did it with like feta cheese on it and then maybe meat on the side. It was delicious. And all these healthy things. I just poured so much love in it, but it was so time consuming. I even had this special slow juicer for my vegetable drinks that I used to make as well. Yeah, when I do something, I go all in. But just cleaning that thing was horrible, honestly. Okay, let's see what this one turned out to become. Oh my God, it's perfect, guys. Look at that. It's like this perfect, soft, chewy garlic. People should not be talking to us after this. Okay, I'm removing some of the seeds. We're gonna use half of this. I think they're seeds falling out. Let me get them out. I already removed the ones that were surface level, but massaging this. Still so much coming out. Okay. And all of this can go straight in the bin. Really hope it's gonna be tasty, because I would love to eat this more often. Okay, guys, we have here paprika powder. So the thing is, I live in a very humid area. Oh no, it's just almost empty. That's why nothing is really coming out. Because sometimes when you have powdery stuff, you have to just store it in the fridge because it's just very easy to get dry. But in this case, look, it's just empty. I didn't notice. Well, that's gonna be added to my shopping list. This is black pepper, which for me is the basis of everything, together with onions and salt. Just not using onions for this dish. And here are some salt. Okay, so this. Now we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil. And we're going to add the sesame seeds. So like I said, usually you use tahini. This is just a substitute. And I'm looking for my stone. But I just remember I threw that already away. Blend this. It looks amazing. No, it doesn't look amazing. It looks like this. But I bet you it is yummy. So we're gonna just pour it all in this cute little container. Oh, wait, let me put the container here. You can see more what I'm doing. I have this feeling we're gonna finish this today. I could actually add some veggies like cucumber and stuff, you know, to dip it with. Let me taste it. It has a lot of flavor. So I'm gonna leave it open so all the heat can get out of it. I'm gonna clean this up. I probably will cut some cucumbers as well, but then we're done, guys. I'm gonna clean up and then I'm gonna prepare our beach bag. Be right back. Made these ruthless. So everything is cleaned up. I'm going to pack our bag. All the yumminess. Here are the coconuts with pizza bread, and last minute I also cut some cucumber and zanahoria, some carrots. And we're gonna bring this one. So let me make it a little bit safer to carry with us. So the straws and our water bottles. This baby's heavy. And the baba ganoush, not to forget. I think that's all, guys. My beach towel and figos. Don't you think it fits perfectly? Ta-da! We're ready to go. And we need to add these two.